not about us. It's for us, but it's not about us. God uses us, but it's about Christ. Amen. And it's about him. Amen. If you're listening to teachers that are pointing you to people, whether biblical, historical, present, or just leaders or anything, and they're pointing you to themselves or pointing you to one another, don't listen to them. If the prophets are pointing you to their ministry, pointing to you to themselves, or pointing you to one another, don't listen to them. Right? Only listen to the ones who are pointing you, constantly pointing you to Christ. If they're pointing you to leaders of the Bible, don't listen to them. Pointing you to these men and women were always pointing to Christ, whether they knew his name or not. Right? Amen? Because you notice when they stood before Jesus, the ones who died, Jesus says, many will say to me on the last day, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Look what I did, look what I did, look what I did. And Jesus says, I don't know you. I never knew you. It was never about you. It was about me, Jesus says. Amen. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to stop telling people to look at our church, look at our pastors, look at us. We need to tell people to look at Christ, look at Christ, look at Christ, look at Christ. And every prophet and pastor and minister and evangelist that are sent by God, they didn't went on their own, but they're sent by God, will point you to him. Like I said, a lot of ministers are falling right now because God is taking them down. A lot of churches are falling right now because God is taking them down. He's like, you guys are not pointing to me. Just like the people in the Old Testament. They stopped, they're like, the temple of the Lord, but the Lord left. They started putting their trust in the temple rather than the God of the temple. The Pharisees did the same thing. They started pointing to people to the temple, to them and their teachings and their theology, and not the God of the temple. Not the God of all theology. That's why we see a lot of these ministers, they're pointing you to self-help and self-performance, not the God who can make you who are weak and vile perform mighty things and wonders. Right? I'm not here to point you to our church. I'm not here to point you to me. I'm here to point you to the God of this church, the God of me, the God of the universe, the God of all things.